Morning. This is carried of Presbyterian Church. I well remember coming to this church a number of years ago, and it was for a funeral of one of my pupils, and it was a very, very sad affair. The church was packed, and by the end of the service there wasn't a dry eye in the house. And you know, as I was at Newtownbreda High School for 30 years, and I was a year ahead for 13 of those years. And sadly, in that time, and the 5 years, 10 years after I retired, I attended the funerals of quite a number of my pupils. And you know, that's not the way it's meant to be. Older folk are supposed to die before younger folk, but that was not the case for Jonny. This is the grave of Jonathan Stevenson. Jonny died 3rd of October 2001, 15 years ago, aged 18. And I could take you to the graves of quite a number of my pupils. There's two out at the temple. There's one over at the back of Milltown, and there's Jonathan here, Jonny. And they're all over the place, and it shouldn't be, but it is. Jonny died of cancer. What can I say about Jonny? I was his yearhead for 5 years along with Katie Pearson. And Jonny was a farmer's son, and he was mischievous. He was always there with a cheerful smile and a cheerful laugh, and he didn't value schoolwork. He did not value schoolwork. Homeworks, it was a toss-up whether they were done or not. Jonny cared about having fun, and he cared about farming. And in his latter years, he added rugby to that mix. And Jonny was only concerned about getting home and out onto the tractor. And I would have had many a bantering session with Jonny, especially in the upper years, whenever you could be a bit more lax with them. And I remember close to his leaving, and he was standing down at the end of the corridor, and it was dimly lit, it was summer, and there was Jonny standing on his own, and he was shouting up the corridor at me, and he was shouting, "Old Baldy McLean." And I shouted back at him, "Old Farmer Stevenson." And of course I was meaning it in a derisory fashion. You know, you're a backwoods boy. Anyway, off Jonny went with a big smile on his face, and I turned round and I smiled too. And it was soon after that Jonny left. And I was talking to his mother. I went up to visit him when he was in hospital, and we thought he would make it through. And I was talking to his mother, and she was laughing about him because on the day he left, he came home, and the first thing he did was he made a wee fire out the back in the yard, and he burnt his school bag and some of his jotters and things like that. And that was an end. The funeral pyre was lit, and that was an end to school. And that was just typical of Jonny. He was funny. He was funny. And he was a big lad. He was a strapping big fella. And he had everything to live for. And he had a future set ahead of him. And I'm no question about it, he would have made a fine farmer. And yet, he was taken. We all thought, as I said, that he would pull through. But it wasn't to be. And I remember, as I said, coming in there, the funeral service at this church, carried off Presbyterian, and was one of the saddest affairs. It was just heartbreaking. I remember Susan Beattie was there, and we didn't even have to say anything afterwards. Tears in the eyes. And Susan is long gone too. Died at the age of 57. Again, cancer. And I would just like to say, in this wee video tribute, Jonny, you are not forgotten. Jonny, it was good to know you. And it was even good to try and teach you. And I say that with a smile. You are one of the best, son. And I believe that there is an afterlife. And I believe that we will meet again and share some laughs. God bless you and yours.